According to the US Surgeon General, about half of American adults report feeling lonely. Half. But you are not just lonely. You are the person who gets bumped into at the grocery store and still says sorry first. Not because you did something wrong, not because you were in the way, not because you actually believe the aisle belonged to them. Your mouth just moved before your brain had a chance to catch up, and that little apology tells a bigger story. Over the next 8 minutes, you will understand why you shrink in rooms where you have every right to stand, why asking for help feels like pulling a fire alarm, and why being easy to love can start to feel exactly like disappearing. And if you already know which habit this is about, do the thing people do when a video hits too close. Not because I asked, because sometimes saving something is the first time you admit, yeah, this is mine. But here is the question most people never ask. Where did your body learn that your needs were a problem? You were not always like this. There was a time you were the one who ran into the room with a drawing in your hand. The one who told the whole story from school before taking off your backpack. The one who asked for one more hug, one more answer, one more sign that somebody was actually listening. Then, little things started teaching you. You cried, and someone changed the subject. You got excited, and someone told you to calm down. You asked for help, and the room suddenly got colder. Not every time, not dramatically, just often enough that your nervous system started taking notes. So you became useful. You became low maintenance. You became the kid who could read the room before entering it. And one day you didn't pick up the phone, and the world didn't end. It got quieter. Psychologist Jonice Webb popularized the term childhood emotional neglect. The simple version is this: it is not always what happened to you. Sometimes it is what should have happened, but didn't. No one had to yell. No one had to leave. They just had to miss you emotionally, again and again, until you learn to miss yourself too. And that is why these habits can look so normal from the outside. But if they protected you once, why do they still hurt so much now? You do not ask for help. You carry every grocery bag in one trip, even when your fingers hurt. You say, "I'm good," while looking for the thing you need by yourself. You spend an hour figuring something out online instead of sending one simple message. You tell yourself, "I just don't like bothering people." But actually, your body hears asking as danger. Somewhere along the way, help started to feel like a debt. The price is that people start believing you need nothing. And then you get angry that nobody notices you are drowning quietly. You over-explain. You are late by a little. And suddenly you are giving the full weather report, the traffic report, and the emotional history of your morning. You choose a restaurant and immediately explain why it makes sense, as if you are submitting evidence in court. You tell yourself, "I'm just being clear," but actually, you are trying to prevent punishment before it arrives. The price is that even kind people start feeling like judges. You do not talk, you defend. You do not know what you feel until much later. Someone asks, "Are you okay?" And your face says yes before your body has voted. Then later, in the shower, in the car, or while lying in bed, it finally hits you. You were hurt. You were angry. You wanted someone to choose you. You tell yourself, "I'm just not emotional." But actually, no one helped you name your inner life when it was forming. The price is that your own feelings arrive like delayed mail. By the time you understand them, the moment is gone. Stop. Before we go further, everything you've heard so far isn't a compliment in pretty packaging. These are real adaptations of your psyche. They help you stay safe in rooms where being honest costs too much. But now, they make normal closeness feel like a test. You become whatever the room needs. With loud people, you get quieter. With fragile people, you get careful. With angry people, you become funny, soft, helpful, agreeable. Anything that lowers the temperature. You tell yourself, "I'm good with people." But actually, you learn to survive by becoming readable to others and invisible to yourself. The price is that after the conversation ends, you do not always know which version of you just left the room. You support everyone, then disappear when you need support.
You answer the late message. You listen to the breakup story. You remember the appointment, the birthday, the thing they said in passing.
But when your own life starts falling apart, you go silent. You tell yourself, I can handle it. But actually, being cared for feels suspicious. It feels like there will be a bill later. The price is brutal. You can be surrounded by people who love you and still feel like nobody has access to the real emergency. And here is where the story stops being about habits and starts being about identity. Because what if the problem is not that you are too independent? What if the problem is that independence became the only room where you felt safe? But here's where it gets complicated. Some of these habits made you impressive. People trust you. People lean on you. People think you are calm, mature, easy, strong. You know how to leave without making a scene. You know how to need less than you want. You know how to make yourself small enough that nobody has to adjust. And yes, that can look like strength. But strength that requires you to disappear is not freedom. It is training. This is the line I want you to remember. Self-sufficiency is when you can stand alone. Self-erasure is when you don't believe you deserve to be met. That is the difference. Because healing is not becoming needy. It is not texting everyone your feelings. It is not turning every dinner into a childhood report. It is letting the right people see one real need before you rush to make it convenient for them. This is not only for people who had obvious trauma. It is for anyone who learned to be the easiest person in the room because being difficult once cost them love. And here is what nobody tells you. The first time you start shrinking, it may feel wrong before it feels healthy. If you're watching this and wondering if something's wrong with you, hear me. You are not too sensitive. You are not dramatic. You are not broken. You are someone who learned to survive by becoming easy to miss. And now you are learning something harder. You are learning to be seen without performing, helped without owning it, loved without shrinking first. The Harvard study of adult development has followed lives for over 85 years, and the main finding is simple. Health and happiness are deeply tied to the quality of our close relationships.
Not the biggest circle, not the loudest social life, the relationships where you can actually be known. So if your circle gets smaller but safer, you are not doing it wrong. If your voice shakes when you say what you prefer, you are not doing it wrong. If you pause before apologizing for existing, you are not doing it wrong. That pause matters. That preference matters. That small, honest sentence matters. Because the goal is not to become someone who needs nobody. The goal is to stop treating your needs like evidence against you. There is a chair in the room with your name on it. You do not have to stand by the wall anymore. Take the chair. If this gave you the permission you didn't know you needed, press the button below whose name I will not even say. You know which one. And write one word in the comments. What do you feel right now?